Welcome back. Kids are heading back to school after summer break, and they might have a hard time adjusting to an earlier bedtime. So joining us today is Tara Hess with Tulsa Pediatric Sleep Consulting. And Tara, we always appreciate you coming on and helping us out with such a tricky subject, kids and sleep.
Yes, thanks for having me.
You are so welcome. And so let's get started with, summer coming to an end. And kids like to sleep in a little bit during the summer. So as we approach school starting, what's some easy tips or tricks for parents to kind of get their kids back on the, hey, gotta wake up, get ready for school?
Yeah, I mean, most parents, most families get a little bit off track during the summer. We've been traveling. Some of us have gone across time zones. Like, our schedules are just crazy. We don't have to get up and go anywhere in the morning. So yeah, we stay up a little late. But you definitely want to make sure your kid's getting enough sleep for school. So what you want to do every year, not just this year, but every year, is really figure out, like, what time does my kid have to be at school, first of all? And then in order to get to school at that time, what time do we need to leave the house? And then in order to leave the house, what time do they have to be awake by? Then parents want to know, well, how much sleep does my child actually need? You know, that's the first thing. And you kind of have to do some math and work backwards from, if I need them awake at this time, and they need 10 hours of sleep at night, then what time do they need to actually be asleep at night?
Does it vary based on their age of how much sleep they need?
Absolutely. So, like, a 6-month-old obviously isn't going to school, but just as an example, they might need about 14 hours of sleep in a 24-hour period, whereas a 9 or a 10-year-old really needs about 10 hours of sleep still. So as you can see, like, each passing year as they get older, those overall sleep needs drop, slightly. But that definitely tells you that if you have a child 10 or under, they still need about 10 hours minimum sleep during the night. So. Okay,
and so let's say, we've calculated what time our kids need to get up. We've calculated how much sleep they need. So here's the bedtime that they should be asleep by. Do you have any tricks on how to go from a late bedtime in the summer to getting it earlier and earlier?
Yes, and that's an important question because, most Tulsa area schools are starting sometime in the next week or so. And so the biggest mistake I see is that parents will wait until, like, either school's already started or it's like starting the next day or in a couple days, and then they're like, oh, we should probably be going to bed a little bit earlier. So it depends really on how far off track you've gotten. But let's say you do all that math and you figure out, okay, little Johnny should be going to bed at like 8:30 every night in order to get the right amount of sleep this year. But he's been going to bed at 9:30 lately, so we need to adjust that schedule by a whole hour. Your body clock cannot jump a whole hour at once. It really can't. It can only move about 15 minutes at a time. So you'd probably want to start tonight doing like 9:15 for a night or two, then 9 o'clock for a night or two, then 8:45, and so on until you get to that ideal time.
Okay, so 15-minute increments is kind of that magic number.
Yes,
to start to get it earlier and earlier.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much. Always bringing the best advice on our sleep and our kiddos, and we appreciate it. All right, coming up, we have a lot more